Hmm. So this is my first live stream in this channel since I have two other channels. One is mostly my very first channel since 2007. The other one is mostly shorts channel. But for this one, it's gonna be like a interview channel where I interview people from all over the world if I can. For example, guests from the horror, comedy, everything, and then also international. For example, Colombiano, Latino, Latina, everything. So I'm gonna introduce myself. So I finished my bachelor's in communications broadcast. Uh, I was born in California, raised here in Texas. And mostly I like to go to a lot of conventions since I really like going to conventions a lot. What else? I like to travel, really travel. Okay. So this is will be my first live Q&A. So if nobody sees this during the live, you can also leave the comments. I'll reply to you. Okay. So mostly, as I mentioned, the channel is mostly about interviews, interviewing celebrities. So mostly, I'm gonna go a little bit into detail, and it's gonna be celebrities like, mm, for example, indie guests that starting so small to do their movies, TV producers, and everything. And then also hard guests. For example, I barely interview Ira from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors, as the Wizard Master. And he also came out in Virus Darkness, I guess, forgot. And of course, Power Rangers, which is one of my favorite shows, but I'm not gonna say where I rank it at. Mostly, I already interviewed one of the Rangers that comes out in Power Rangers Wild Force as a Black Ranger, and his name is Jack Guzman. And it was so interesting interviewing him. Very interesting and fun, really. And if you haven't seen the full interview, go to my channels. You'll find them in the video section. What else? I like to also to reach out to creators that create content. For example, I just had two guests from Miami who does like their beauty products. They also do like TV, movies, and everything. And also, yeah, mostly. And what else do I have in mind? Yeah, so today I dropped a new shorts uh, showing a little bit of the interview of Ira, which I mentioned right earlier. And it comes out on Monday, the full interview. And if you want to watch it, go for it on Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay, and then my first guest from the channel was Keith Coogan. Like the first time, I was so nervous and everything. Like I just messed up the settings on the Zoom, so I was mostly one and one, not like on both screens at the same time. And then who else? Oh, of course, I went to a meet and greet to meet the Power Ranger Ninja Storm's Blue Ranger, Sandy Seal. And let me tell you guys, she's an awesome person to meet. She has this aura around her that's very calming. That for me, so I was so nervous going to the meet and greets because I never got to a lot of meet and greets. I go to the big conventions and then she hold like hold my hand, breathe and everything. I felt so much better, really. Mhm. Okay, so as I mentioned, upcoming content. Right now, I'm trying to get in touch with other people in the indie horror genre. Mostly, I got one already to interview on this month, but I'm not gonna tell you when. But I think that one's gonna come out till July or August because I need to stretch it out so it won't be all squished. So the algorithm and the videos could breathe. All of it. Okay, what's next? Mostly. La, la, la. Okay, so now we're gonna do questions and answers. Viewers may ask, have you see it? What is your favorite horror movie? For me, I don't know, since I love to watch a lot of horror movies, TV shows, everything. So I would say my favorite one. I don't know. I don't know really. I don't know what's my favorite one because mostly I like everything. But mostly I like horror from the 70s and 80s. Since those movies were more scared, actually, a little bit, like, not a lot. Like for me, I just couldn't see The Exorcist, the original. I don't know, but until I watched it with a friend, and guess what? It wasn't scary. I think it's due because I'm already older. The movie's already old. Something. My favorite Power Ranger season. I don't know. You all have a favorite Power Ranger season for me. Uh, of course, apart from the Mighty Morphin, because everybody, that's their number one. Because for me, I watched it every time when it came out on TV when it premiered. Like I watched the promo of season two when Lord Zed came to the season and everything. What else? So mostly, okay, I could say this. Uh, from Saddam, I would say uh, this is hard to pick because mostly I like every season. Okay, let me think. Mm, okay, Time Force is a good one. Wild Force, Lightspeed. See, that's what I mean. They're all good, good. So I just cannot pick one. Okay, because my brother, his number one as a Power Rangers, apart from the Mighty, it was Time Force because it was from the future coming to the present to say to arrest Ramsek and everything. But for me, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. Really, I don't know. Well, I would say I like the crossovers. That's like the best episodes, of course. Yeah, and then, of course, we couldn't do that with the Wild Force and the Ninja Storm because when the Ninja Storm started, it was already Disney. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, so let's do the Disney. I would say, God. Well, I didn't like SPD. That's what I could tell you. Don't tell me why, but I just don't like it. Mm, Dino Thunder, I did like it. Ninja Storm, Operation Overdrive, but my favorite episode was Once a Ranger. Always is Rangers. Because uh, the Blue Ranger from Ninja Steel, and then the Yellow Ranger from Dino Thunder, and then from Mystic Force, and of course, your second original Black Ranger, because the first one is Walter Jones. I really like the entry when the first Ranger King was the Mystic Force Xander, and then it was Kira, and this one was my favorite. Tori. Pew, 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 pew. And then she says, let the games begin. Yeah, that's like my favorite. And then it was, I just forgot the guy name from SPD, but he was the blue or green ranger. I think he was the green ranger. And yeah, that's one of my favorite episodes. Okay, for mm, really, I really like Jungle Fury a lot. Megas Force, I didn't really like it, and just don't tell me what, but I just didn't like it. I have my favorites. I have which ones I like more, less, so mostly Mega Force. I didn't like Samurai, neither. I didn't like Samurai. But when it came to, what's the name of it? Dino Charge, I really liked it. And I'll tell you guys what. My favorite character from the show or season was Miss Morgan. Yeah, but she was a ranger, but that's towards the end of the season because the next season was the Super, and that's got more interesting. And what I like about this season, they have 10 rangers. Yeah. Okay, and then we have the Ninja Steel, one of my other favorites, because in the Super season, there was also, I think it was the 30th anniversary, 25th, I don't remember. And of course, Catherine, TJ, a lot of Rangers came. Yeah, so mostly that's it. So that's what I mean. So my plan is also to reach out to other Rangers who, if they want to be on the show or to interview them. Mm, yeah, because I went to the website called let me see. Heroic talent appearance. So they have here in the website, they have some voiceovers characters like they have Nicole Sullivan, Wayne Gresham, something like that. Ted Lewis, Mark Thompson, Greg Abbey, David Willis, Kerry Williams, Scott Ray, Tara Sands, Lee Quick. I think I saw her in one of the movies a long time ago. Karen Graham, who did the voice of Goldar, and I forgot the guy from Lost Galaxy, the Black Ranger, but not the brother, but the first. Okay, and then we have Mark Hilberg, Mike Pollan, I think I pronounced their names right. And then Mark Walden, Justin Gross, and then Duncan Brand. And what I see that he did the voice of Barney. I remember the Barney show when it came out. And then we have Gary Littleman, Eli James, Christopher Chrome, Ethan Connor Marshall, and then Barrett Leonard, something like that. And then Oliver Women, Clay Adams, Tony Saul, Campbell Cody, seeing his that he did some voiceovers also. There's Alpha on the image. And then Jamie Hayden Devlin. And then Jason Boris, something like Greg Dougie. Okay, and then there's Philip Wilberg, something like that. And he did the voice of Android. I forgot. The Rogue, I just don't remember, but I like also Dragon Ball Z. That's my number one favorite about anime, the Dragon Ball universe. And then Kelly, I don't know. John Morris, who did the voice of Andy of Toy Story. David Coburn, who did the voice of Captain Planet. Have y'all seen that show, cartoon? Uh, I could stop. I remember buying the Nintendo game of Captain Planet, man, but it was so hard for me to play, dude, since I was still learning. Okay, and then we have Amy Burra, I think, Bargetto. Mm, I know. Well, he did some voice of anime also because there's Dende from Dragon Ball. Pete Zipperman, uh, Ken Murak, something like that. And then we have another voice actor, Barney. And then Majin Buu. Well, some of the characters from the Dragon Ball universe that look like the Dragon Ball OG and the Dragon Ball Z. And it's Josh Martin and Emily Riggs. But she does other characters. Oh yeah, the girl from Toy Story 3. Towards the end, Andy goes to her house and gives them the toys. And then we have the live action, which is Karen Ashley, Catherine Sutherland, Nakia, Jason Font, Carla Perez, who plays Rhea Posa, of course, and then Jeffrey Parza and Kevin Dunk, who were in the Dino Thunder, and then Shaw C. Johnson, who was in Lightspeed, and then Sally Martin. I'm still waiting for her email to respond. She's willing to able to do an interview for the channel. And then Phillips Andrews, which I think I'm gonna go see him since he's coming in July to do an interview with him in person. Of course, the thing about the constant being here, the cons is very loud that we cannot hear what we want to ask him. The place where the room say how the people are, everything. And then Jack Guzman's, which already interview him. And then Phillips James, he was the Shark Ranger from Wild Force. And then also Phillips was in the Wild Force also. And then Allison Sullivan, I don't know how to say her second word of her full name. She was the Eagle Ranger, and then Jessica Ray, who was the Tiger Ranger, if I remember, and then Anna Marie, who was Princess Leia. And those were Wild Force, and then we have Adam Turner from the Ninja Storm, and then we have Brandon and Mejia, who did Dino Charge, if I remember correctly. And then Kimberly Crossman, who did the Samurai, and I think she was the first red female ranger. And then we have Nate the Tigger. Well, he also came out in Samurai. Samurai, I really didn't like it, but a good thing. I think I already mentioned this part that Bob came on the show. And then Tracy Lane Cruz, where she came out in Turbo and Space. And then Swellen Gore, who also was the Turbo and Space. And then Roger Velasquez, who also did Turbo and Space. And then Justin, that I mentioned earlier. And then Patrick David, who did the Psycho Ranger in Space. And then we have Michael Gora, who was the White Ranger when in the last season, before Aliens, he was young Tommy. And then we have Wesley Barnes, which he did Beetleborgs, if you all remember that. And then we have David Feldman, who did Zordon in the show on the original seasons. And then we have Stephen Andrews, where he was the voice of one of the villains of the original. I just forgot. And then we have Katrina, Amy Miller. Uh, Quick note, I don't know if y'all know this, but he and the Green Ranger, I just forgot his name, they got married in real life. And then we got our Robbie Travis from Beast Morphers, I think. And then we have our prop master Nikki Glavach, I think, which I'm gonna try to get in touch with him for an interview because I saw him interviewing with the other girls. Kat and Nikita have their own YouTube page, and they bring guests to interview them in live. And I really loved their interview they had with him. Okay, and then we have Brandon J. Oh, yes, from SVD. The only thing I just didn't like about him, yes, he was okay in the season, but and when they did the crossover, mostly he treated like the Rangers like little kids, but that's normal because the Dino Rangers they were in the past, then they were in the future, so they were like he was acting like how can I say this? Hmm, like a protector, like for all veterans Rangers. But like, nah, that's okay. But he was a good Red Ranger. And then last we have the voice of Glenn Levy, which he did the son of Zed and Rita. As that episode was once a Ranger, always a Ranger. Well, the crossover of Operation Overdrive. And then there's comics and everything. So, well, yeah, mostly I'm gonna try to reach out and see how to book them and everything. And mostly that's it for this live a little bit. Okay. Some subscribers. Yeah. So this is gonna be the closing. If you all want to leave a comment, like who do you want me to reach out to interview, but not big like stars. For example, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold. Who else is big? But those kind of celebrities or guests. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because each this upcoming week I'm gonna have full video. And then the other week another full interview. But I'm not gonna say who they are because you have to wait so you can see the shorts first. So for that I decided to do 2 shorts and then the full interview and then 3 more shorts and that's it. So y'all let me know if you want me to do a live each month or twice, but I prefer just 1 live per month so to give you an update on who I've already interviewed, who I haven't planned. Like right now, I'm just waiting for the response for an agent, which if they're gonna, so she's gonna send me the info so I can reach out to the guest and let's see how it goes to join. Mostly this is it for now. But yeah, I hope you like this first live stream, which is for me it was okay. Because nobody's live, that's okay. But I'm sure everybody's gonna come little by little. And mostly that's it. If you saw the short from today, you're gonna have to wait to watch the full interview on Monday at 7 p.m. Mostly this is it for the live stream. But remember, you leave me comments. I'm sure we'll reply to you as soon as possible when I have time, but I'm very good at responding at comments. Okay, so see you next month.